Thank you, thank you, thank you. I found out that I'd sort of outed myself, I guess. I didn't realize people would know it was my birthday. They send these over here. But, you know, I have a Facebook account that I don't use. I don't know how to use it. I never really, you know, for me, social networking is kind of social not working, you know. I'm not good with things that are distractions because I'm an addict at heart, and I get too, it's like I sit in front of the television set. I never watch TV because I would just sit there all day and be mesmerized, and I have the same problem with the computer or Facebook, any of those kinds of things. So I apologize to all of those of you who already read your Facebook this morning, probably sent me some kind of greeting that I don't even know about and possibly won't know about because I never go and look at my Facebook page. But when I first set it up, I guess, I put my profile together and they ask you for your birthday. So today it's me and George and a couple other friends of mine that have the same birthday. And my friend Jenny Goff, who passed away last month while I was in Mexico, her birthday is in a couple of days. So I have a lot of Piscean friends as it has evolved over the years. Anyway, thank you so much for the little surprise celebration. And I feel like that's set me up today, you know, that I've had a number of text messages, and I haven't really been on the internet for my computer or email or anything, but I've had people that texted me this morning to wish me happy birthday, and so I'm feeling the love. I guess is what I'm trying to say. I'm feeling the love. I'm just trying to let it all in and allow it to be as it is, for me, about me, through me, as me, and I'm just sending it back to you guys today. My friend Lauren Michaels once told me a story about a minister that was in her world back in California in Science of Mind when she was living back there, who once told a class, I guess it was, that she was in, that it doesn't really matter what you get up there and say as long as you just love them. So who knows what I'm going to say today, but I'm here to love you, that's for sure. I'm here to love you. And Bonnie mentioned that she'd just been to the conference in Las Vegas. Why we had it in Las Vegas, I don't know, but sounds like it was a great time and a great meeting. And she also mentioned in my intro, well, she mentioned about learning about the international aspect of what's going on in the Centers for Spiritual Living when she was at the conference, and being much more impressed by that than she had in the past, because we are growing and growing around the world. This is the truth teaching that is, time has come. Anyway, so I want to bounce off of that for a couple things, by virtue of also telling you where I've been and what I've been doing. I wasn't here last month, missed you guys. Don't know if you even noticed that I wasn't around, but I wasn't here last month on the fourth Sunday in January, because I was in Mexico. And actually I've been gone the better part of the last 6 weeks, between Mexico and then coming right back and heading up to Albuquerque, Colorado for a hockey tournament for my grandson. So Dave was asking me this morning, how am I doing? I said, I'm just sort of like trying to feel my way back. That it's been a really extremely transformative experience for me, what I was doing in Mexico. But one of the things that I did is I went to Mérida for about a week to visit the Breedloves. If you guys remember the Breedloves? Yeah. They're there for the winter, or in the Yucatan for the winter. And they were in Mérida for about 2.5 months, and they had invited me to come down and visit with them. So I was halfway there by going to Ajijic and decided, well, I'll just go the rest of the way and visit with them. And I had another ulterior motive, or two, as it turns out, too. But there's a young man who is a student online in Science of Mind in the Spanish language, whom I met in one of the online Spanish-speaking classes, you know, the virtual meeting kind of thing. And he had expressed an interest in wanting to start a center there in Mérida. And I had told him through the class communication that I was possibly going to be there this winter. So I hooked up with him and visited with him, and we're getting him started with his first study chapter. He's not a practitioner yet, so he's not allowed to actually be the director of a full-fledged center, but he's already got a study group. Technically, he's going to kind of affiliate it and confirm it. He's already got a study group of 10 people that are meeting just about every Sunday down there. For book study primarily, but we're going to work on up-leveling all that, and And I have a meeting with him Wednesday evening via Skype where we're going to fill out his paperwork to get him affiliated with the Centers for Spiritual Living in Golden, Colorado. And also, this afternoon, I'm going to be teaching my second class via Skype to the center in Ajijic on visioning, which is Michael Beckwith's tool that he brought to Centers for Spiritual Living, and we're still using it to this day. So this is all a part of how I want you all to understand your meeting this afternoon, your membership meeting, and what you are as a community here, that we're all a part of something bigger. We've always known that, but this is the institutional part of being something bigger, that Science of Mind and Centers for Spiritual Living is a part of and what they're doing. And the other aspect of what I wanted to tell you about is the conference that you went to is the only one that is held now by the Centers for Spiritual Living on an international basis, because they stopped doing their Asilomar summer conference a year ago. So now we have a summer conference in Mexico that you can think about attending if you want to do that. And so I've been involved in the planning for that conference. It's going to be in Ajijic the last week in July. Well, it's going to be in Lake Chapala, which is just outside of Guadalajara. The big city of Guadalajara is nearby. So I want to keep plugging that, and we'll have the flyers ready here pretty soon. And I'm going to be asking if they'll post it here. If you want to consider coming down, it's totally bilingual. It's going to be partly simultaneous translation and partly only in Spanish and partly only in English. But we've rented this gorgeous hotel down there. The full facility is going to be ours. It has wonderful grounds, and it's right on Lake Chapala. So it's truly a substitute for any of those of you who've ever been to Asilomar. Part of the aspect of Asilomar for Science of Mind is it's next to nature. It's a beautiful setting. It's relaxing, peaceful. It's more like a retreat than it is a convention or conference. And that's what we want the Ajijic thing to become, almost a way of transferring over to that from the Asilomar experience. So you'll keep hearing from me about that as long as I'm here on the fourth Sundays of the month, okay? I'll keep plugging that. So I watched all of the videos. That's part of my role too, is that I'm the last speaker of the month, and as Bonnie says, I'm here to supposedly kind of wrap it up, which means I got a few hours to put in watching the videos of the other speakers since I'm not here physically to hear them. So Bonnie started off by giving you lots of word understanding, and all love binds us all is the theme. Love binds us all, and I want to talk today about not only love binds us all, but love bids us all. So to be love, and then let's see. I can't recall the lady's name who was here as the guest speaker from the Unitarian Universalist. Linda, thank you, Linda. And she brought some music in and sang to you and had a really good reference to a lot of our cultural understanding of love, partly through song. And then Randy Granger told us a story about falling in love with the dandelion that was the unexpressed love of an object of love that then disappeared. That's kind of how I saw the story. So today, and then Randy wanted to talk about be love, and I want to talk about be love today too, in terms of how we become the love that is the love of God, the love for God, the love by God, and the love of God expressing through us to others. But one of the things that first came to my mind when I heard the theme was an old hymn. You know, my starter religion was a Christian church. Actually, the disciples of Christ that call themselves the Christian church. Imagine, they just took that sort of whole idea of, well, we're the Christian church, like there's no other, which is also now a part of the Church of Christ is now they re-merged just like we re-merged in Science of Mind in the 40s or 30s, I think it was. They split up over whether they'd have instrumental music in the church, if you can imagine. Like, I don't know if our split was any more intelligent than that, but you know, people get things in their mind and they decide to go elsewhere, and that's what happened. At any rate, the Christian church here is the one that's down across from Las Cruces High that we had the Howling Coyote at for a while. So in the Christian church, we sang lots of hymns. That was part of the Sunday thing. And I thought about this hymn that came to my mind as soon as I heard this, that love binds us all. I thought of this hymn that we sang when I was a child called Blessed Be the Tie That Binds. I'm not going to sing it for you today like like Linda did when she was singing to you, but you know, it's blessed be the tie that binds our hearts in Christian love. So that's how the words of the song start off with, and I couldn't really remember them all. My memory's going, my older age here. So I had to look it up, but basically it's blessed be the, and this was written in the late 80s, I think, about the same time that a lot of this sort of New Thought thing was coming on in the East Coast of the U.S., around the Boston area, and apparently the pastor who wrote this was in that vicinity as well. So there may be some influence here that you'll hear in the words. It's blessed be the tie that binds our hearts in Christian love. The fellowship of kindred minds is like to that above. Before our Father's throne, we pour our ardent prayers, our fears, our hopes, our aims are one, our comforts and our cares. We share our mutual woes, our mutual burdens we bear, and often for each other flows the sympathetic tear. So when I was prompted to go and look up the lyrics to the words of the lyrics for the song, to read the words, I realized this is really what I'm planning to talk about. Love as the kind of compassionate love. Love as the agape kind of love. Anyone not heard the word agape as one of the Greek words for love? This is what I really wanted to talk about today. So I thought, well, I'm going to start by reading you the words of that song and hear the likenesses of truth teaching in it. The idea of minds above and below that are connected. The idea that we are one and that we share each other's sorrows and fears and joys and excitement and aims and goals. So agape, as I understand it, is a word from the Greek that was used consistently throughout the translation from the Aramaic of the early Bibles, when the Bible was translated and the New Testament was translated into the Greek, because agape is primarily, I guess, more used in the Greek translation of the New Testament. But it pertains to the idea of a selfless love, of a charitable love, a non-erotic love, you know, not romantic love, not sexual love, but this outpouring of love that is loving kindness, a way of expressing the love of the soul, from the soul, is how I look at it too. And it is also the soul, S-O-L-E, soul and ultimate value, from which all other values derive. We talk about love here, that God is love, and that love is all there is. Only love is real. The Course in Miracles folks, as Randy mentioned, you know, we talk a lot in the Course in Miracles about how only love is, the love is the only thing that exists, and that nothing else is real besides love, and that, you know, fear is the opposite of love. All of these things you've heard ultimately many times probably if you've been attending these services or teaching or taking the classes that are being taught here. Our love is the love of God as it is expressed by loving each other. This is to me what the agape kind of love stands for. It's the love of God, the love for God, which then translates into the love of others, which is more what Doug was talking about today in the reading that he gave, where we cannot have only just the love of God and not express that outward to the others in our world. And we cannot love only our brother because that's too limiting at the exclusion of loving God. And that it's ultimately when we begin to understand that it's all one and that we're all one, that the other, the brother, the God, the person that I am is all one, then we have reached that ultimate enlightenment of how love really works. Martin Luther King said that agape is the love of God operating in the human heart. And I think that's also what Doug's reading was about, where we bring this through us outward. But it comes through us first. It's the love of self. It's the ability to grow outside of the pain, the past, the problems, the whatever that we're operating under with our lives, and like allow ourselves to love ourselves and to feel the love first. That's why I said I have to say to you, I'm feeling the love from the birthday wishes. I have to let it in. If I don't let it in, it won't be able to come through me. It won't be able to pass back through me, back out to you and to the world at large or anywhere. Reverend Michael Beckwith, or Reverend Michael BB, as some of us call him, he says that it's loving without having any object of love to love. That it's just such a universal feeling or an experiential feeling throughout our system, our body, that it's not that we have to love that person or that thing, or, you know, I love my car, I love my house, I love whatever. It's not even having any kind of object or subject either of love. It's just a feeling that is all pervasive. I have this book that I purchased when I was at the Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living. In fact, I think that's one of the last times I saw my friend Jenny up there, Reverend Jenny Goff. This is a compilation called Ideas of Power by Dr. Ernest Holmes. That is, well, thank you, Sharon. I believe that it is essentially a compilation of his talks that he used to give at the theater on Sundays in the Beverly Hills. But here he's talking about this idea of love, and he says, love, just plain love, is liking everybody. We are so constituted that real love is real only in such a degree as it is universal. I'm not talking here about love that says, God bless me and my wife and my son John and his wife and we four and no more. That isn't love, it is selfishness. Establish the fact philosophically and scientifically, because then it will become a spiritual fact. In other words, we want to know what is so. Now we do know we have to love, and we have to be loved. We must feel wanted, needed, and loved. We must have friendship, and we must have our arms around each other. He goes on to talk about how people might say that's silly and sentimental, and probably back in the 30s when he was talking about it, it might have even been more sentimental. But we do have to have our arms either literally or figuratively around each other. It's about embracing the all. That love is loving all and loving it all. You've heard me speak before about the necessity of accepting and loving and being grateful for everything that happens to you, through you, as you in your life, no matter what. That it's all for my good and nobody's misbehaving. That whatever happens to me is happening for me as it happens through me. And if I am not willing to allow that in, to accept that, and to be grateful for it all, then I'm not loving it all, and I'm not all loving. So the theme today is about how love binds us all, and what I submit to you is that love bids us all. Love bids us all to come in. Somebody talked about the heretic. Was it you, Larry, that I was? Yeah. It was a couple months ago when I watched your talk, right? About Outwitted. Drawing the circle, and yeah, that's a poem that Edwin Markham, I think it is, that I learned too about having the will and the wit to win by drawing the circle and letting people in and bringing them in. Those who are the heretics and the things to flout, that draw a circle and shut us out. That we have to draw the circle and let them in, and that's how we outwit the situation. But it's about loving it all and being all in the process of loving, that we know that God is through me as me, loving and a lover of it all. And I hope that that's the way you feel about yourself and the God within you, that we're here to promote well-being, to have the compassion of Christ, to understand at the deepest level, there but for the grace of God go I, rather than to jump into judgment, criticism, justification, any of those things that we might feel we're righteously entitled to. Michael Beckwith teaches us the same thing here, that there is no justifiable judgment of others. And Ernest Holmes talks about how anything that we see in someone else are just potentially the unknown territories within ourselves. I kind of like that concept of the unknown territories or unclaimed territories within ourselves, that we are seeing it in the other because we have it in us, but we're seeing it in the other because we've projected it out from us, and we don't want to see it in ourselves. So I want to say that this idea of gratitude for all that I believe is the key to this loving it all, is to be grateful for it, is to accept whatever it is and say, thank you, God, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for becoming new members today. Thank you for having this community open. Thank you for whatever is the smallest thing that we might perceive is not necessary to be thankful for, but it is. It is. We are able, Michael Beckwith says, to be more enlightened when we give thanks for what most other people take for granted. And it's through the process of being thankful for all of what other people might take for granted or might resist, I will add to that, that we level up our vibration. And our level of vibration of gratitude is then what allows us to be more aware to see and more willing to accept the good that comes into our lives. And then I would add to Michael's comment that that good is all good, because it's all God. So our awareness isn't so much to point out, say, oh, that's good. Oh, I'm aware that that's good and that's bad. No, our awareness is really about seeing everything as good, so that we see it all as good because we understand that it is all God, because there is no spot where God is not. So if I'm objecting to something, resisting something, not loving it, not being loved by it, not allowing it to do its bidding with me, I'm not willing, salud, I'm not willing to be in a loving space. Well, I get to choose over. That's one of the blessings too, right? We get to choose again. We get to choose again. So Skip, when I met with you earlier and got my wire on, I forgot when I gave you the CD that I also wanted to ask you to come up with something to play that would be a little bit meditative for the first part of what I want to do, where you'll play the other song later. So my apologies to you and to all of you that I have to take a moment out to kind of give Skip a little time to cue up something or to think about something there, to play as a little meditation, because my intention is to end with a little process where I'm hopeful that we will sense this love at our deepest cellular level, that we are love, and that we will be love, become love, and then we'll broadcast that love out through us and beyond us. So if you're willing to participate in my little thing here, as Bonnie said, my talks are interesting. I guess this is part of the interesting part of it. Maybe it's part of the inspirational part too. We'll just see. At any rate, what I want to do is a little closed-eye process to start off something, and then I want to ask you to be doing something open-eyed. And the open-eyed part, I give you a little setup on that. Do all of you know how to do this? You know, this little thing where you can make the heart with your fingers, if you choose to do that. When I ask you to do that, then we'll have that as a part of our physiological integration of it all. But to start off with, I want just to have a little meditative state here where we're going to feel the love, okay? So just ask yourself before we start this, or as we're going into it, ask yourself for permission just to allow your soul to experience this, to feel and to reveal whatever is within you, the knowledge that is the healing. And I want you to think back in your life to a point in time that you knew you were unconditionally loved. It could be a time when you were with a grandparent or a parent or someone in your family, or just anyone that you were with where you knew you were unconditionally loved, that there was no doubt. And feel that feeling. Hearken back to that feeling. Allow yourself to feel that feeling. And you know that you were loved unconditionally because no matter what you did or who you were, the love was there. You could go back for more and more. Feel yourself going back for more. Just feel the joy of that total acceptance. And now allow yourself to magnify that love. To know that that love that you felt in that circumstance with that other person or persons is only a tiny, tiny portion of the unconditional love that the universe, that spirit, has for you. And as you're breathing in and breathing out, focus on your breath. Drop yourself down into this meditative state of feeling unconditional love. Put a smile on your face. Feel that love. And as you breathe in, feel it more. And now I want to invite you to amplify it even more. That when I clap my hands, feel that that love has been 10 times multiplied. Just keep smiling, breathing, and allowing that experience of unconditional love to grow within you. Ten times. Sorry, I didn't mean to startle you, Larry. 10 times. Let's ratchet it up 10 times. I'll clap away from the microphone next time. Now feel that love. Feel it growing. Feel that instant up-leveling to what David Hawkins calls love and above, that 500 plus vibrational level. And continue to breathe and feel with every breath that it grows, that the love grows. That you feel this love that's unconditional, that you were a recipient of. And you're beginning to feel and sense this unconditional love that you have for yourself at the same level or higher. And that which is seeking to express through you is unconditional love. That you're having a phenomenal increase of your awareness of unconditional love. Love without agenda. Love without attachment. And you're coming into a deeper, deeper awareness of the love of God that is you as you. And I'm going to clap my hands again away from the microphone and ask you to ramp this up like 50 times more. You can do it, 50 times more. Now this love should be completely consuming you. That you should feel almost a difficulty in restraining the expression of this love. This increasing awareness, this listening that you're doing to spirit within you that is the expression of unconditional love, that God is love, that God in you is love. And now I want to anchor this for you, that you have something that will be an anchor for you to return to this state of unconditional love. Allow yourself to have come through to you from that divine mind some image or sound or song or color or words or phrases, whatever comes through to you, that this is your anchor connected to the feeling of unconditional love. Just whatever shows up first. And now if you have that, great. And if you didn't get an image or a sound or anything to anchor to, it may come to you later. There's no right or wrong way of how to do this. Don't concern yourself with that. Excuse me. And now I'd like for you to stand if you're able and willing. And we're going to find this way to express this love outward. I'm going to ask Skip to play the song, I Am Love by Michael Gott. And if you're up for playing complete, full out, do the heart and watch. Open your eyes and watch. And turn around to those around you, in back of you, all around the room while we play this song, that you are coming from love to love, or toward love, with all that unconditional love that you have. And we'll play this song, and that will be the way we'll close it out. Hopefully we can get the song queued up here. So this is part of your anchor too, to get the physiological. Okay, anytime you feel like, okay, I'm not being loved, I'm not getting there yet. Think about making your little heart with your fingers and see through that. We're all seeing through the filter of something in our lives, so we want to see through the filter of love. Can't get my song to play? Sorry. To express your love, that love that you feel, that unconditional love for yourself and for others, and for everything in, around, for, and through you.
I am strong.
Feel free to sing along, whatever. I am home.
The strength of God is in my life.
Heart to heart, heart to heart. Oops, there's a skip in there. Yeah.
I am healed.
Congratulations. Congratulations to you. Those are new, but that's it. Nancy says those are her new binoculars. I like that idea. Our binoculars and our microscope. Feel that love. And if you're finished walking around or you're finished playing with the heart, put your arms around one another if you're standing next to other people and hold hands. We'll just finish the song out, you know. I like Sandy, hug yourself. That's great. Yeah, hug yourself. Started the song a little late, so. But hopefully nobody thinks that there's too much love, right? We can still have more love all the time.
The gifts of God are in my life.
I am, you are, we are love.
The gifts